Cologne reminded me why I love Counter-Strike.
It's finally his! It's theirs! Champion!
Before we get started, I want to thank our friends over at iBuyPower, the official PC of VCT Americas, for sponsoring this video. Earlier this year, iBuyPower sent us to LA to experience all the excitement of one of Valorant's biggest weeks in person. The pros love their iBuyPower PCs, and if you want to work and play like a pro, check out iBuyPower's high-quality pre-built PCs and use our code for some sweet discounts on gaming gear over at ibp.gg/thescore. iBuyPower's Labor Day sale is going on from August 23rd to September 4th, so head on over to their site for some sweet deals. And yes, because I know you're wondering, both discounts do stack. Now let's get into today's video.
In case you missed it, over the weekend we saw the grand finals for Cologne 2024 between Vitality and world number one's Na'Vi. Like Katowice, Cologne happens every single year. There's an immense history to it, with some of the game's most iconic moments taking place inside the hollow grounds of what has become affectionately known as the Cathedral of Counter-Strike. Thanks in part for its proximity to the actual Cologne Cathedral, but also for the gods who have done battle in the Lanxess Arena and the some 39,000 worshippers who attend over the weekend. If I sound too dramatic, just know this is literally how everyone talks about this event. There's just something about it that constantly captures the best of not just CS, but all of competitive gaming. Now, enough gushing, let's talk about the build-up. Portuguese squad SAW were absolutely one of the highlights of the tournament. They came in as massive underdogs, and their opening match against FaZe damn near stole the show.
Backs against the wall, they have to scrap for the win here. Captain Muteres, can he do it? 2 kills connect, but they know where he is now. It's not a guessing game, it's an aimer's game. Muteres, 31 years old, looks to leave his impression in the Lanxess. One more! Oh!
Despite that beautiful clutch and the incredible upset they pulled off on FaZe, Vitality would swiftly put an end to that potential Cinderella run in the semifinals.
Bait them in, but Vitality keep calling their bluff. Oh. Apex swings it wide, and third time's the charm here as they chase him down. The dream turns to ash on dust, while Vitality turn to gold.
The same can be said on the other side of the bracket with Na'Vi versus MOUZ. This MOUZ roster has constantly been underestimated, and I think that this event further proves their status as a top team. Still, that wasn't enough against Na'Vi, who seemed destined to meet Vitality in the grand final.
And wonderful isolated, he's actually found the first Alexi B susceptible 50 points of damage. Alexi B secured it in regulation in back-to-back fashion. His first trip to the Lanxess, and he makes that grand final.
Okay, now back to gushing for a little bit. This grand final was truly something else. Listen, at this point, we know the fans are going to show up to these events. Time and time again, this community has proved to be built differently. The same could be said about the teams. These guys come out and play their balls off every goddamn time. This means everything to them. But ladies and gentlemen, the production. The atmosphere this team was able to create, the sound design, the graphics, the intros, it was brilliant.
If I can make Na'Vi the #1 organization when it comes down to winning the most trophies in Cologne, I would be forever grateful because of the fact that I think I owe it to them. I was lost, waiting for a miracle, and a miracle happened.
Back then, 2015 final in Cologne, such an amazing moment because that was the first time we played here. 3 finals now, but without the trophy, it wouldn't mean much. Almost success here is not success.
The stage was set perfectly for these 2 Goliaths to do battle, each with something to prove. In winning, Na'Vi would have not only won their 3rd big event this year, but become the first and only organization to have won Cologne 3 times. Vitality winning would be a first ever for the org, including IGL Apex, who had been here in the grand finals 3 times before, but never able to cross the finish line. Would Na'Vi finally silence any doubters left, or would Vitality re-establish their dominance? It was time to find out in the server. We started off with Nuke and immediately went to overtime, which was unsurprising. Vitality pulled out the win and it was off to Dust 2, where Na'Vi would repay that favor and steal Vitality's map pick. But soon after was Mirage, where we had another overtime banger, if not the single best map we've seen in CS2 so far. But please, do not take my word for it.
Nade won't finish him off. Bit and Imma trying to get in, but Spinks denies. It falls to Imma again on this B-bomb site. Has he got another one? Spinks! A triple kill and a clutch. 2 targets to find, and the first is Divine. He's taken down Bit, and now one more required. Wonderful Nervous up against the Woo, up against the game, and he takes them both in the Cathedral. It has to be wonderful. Redemption on the menu if he can just hit one more shot.
He's got a nade, Spinks is low.
For the quad kill, Spinks will have to make a move time against him. Drops away. Wonderful goal. This is his chance. A fake plant, Spinks. Does he call the bluff? Yes! Wonderful! That is redemption. How is this reality? The nade can catch on the cross. It's perfect. Does not find him. Running him down. Spinks a clutch. It's his for the taking. It hits the head. I'm not sure.
He's got time.
Oh my God! Na'Vi 12 in a row, but it ends here, it ends today, it ends in the grand final. Vitality, one map away from their very first trophy of the year.
After that absolute heater and crushing defeat for Na'Vi, the boys in black and yellow looked visibly defeated, going down 10-2 in the first half of Inferno. Come the second half, Alexi B was mounting a comeback that was honestly for a little bit giving visions of FaZe versus Liquid, but this time, Vitality, ZywOo, and Apex were able to get the job done.
It's right there for the taking. Vitality, they just need to kill him. They just need the one frag, and it will be theirs.
Commiserations for a broken-hearted Na'Vi, but they played their hearts out, and honestly, respect to them for taking the time to echo just how special of a grand final this was, even after their loss. As for Vitality, they are now one step away from completing an Intel Grand Slam, and the robot that is ZywOo, with a whopping 100 kills, collected yet another MVP. God, I love this game. That was basically everyone's sentiment on Twitter during and after these grand finals. Slasher even went so far as to say, quote, "Valorant is a great game with a popular, diverse, and still growing community. But watching it side by side with an event like Cologne, it's clear Counter-Strike is still by far a superior esport product." And not to take a shot at Valorant, but he does have a point here. Valorant is in its world championship right now, and most games are being played inside of a closed studio. Truthfully, I don't really know why this is, but after seeing what's possible this weekend with Cologne, it's a disservice to the fans and players of Valorant. And it wasn't just Cologne's stadium and production that impressed. The viewership numbers did too. It hit over 1.05 million viewers, the third highest non-major viewership in the game's history. And in response to that, Launder said something really interesting on Twitter that helped put a bit more context to a conversation that Dimitri and I were having earlier. Launder said that despite the game having its issues, CS2 is already better than CSGO as a viewing experience, citing that the smokes are the best thing to happen to the series since air acceleration. Others in response praised MR12 as helping improve the viewer experience, and even the game just looking better and brighter helps add to this sentiment. And there is a point here. Most of the issues with Counter-Strike 2 are felt through playing, but by watching, especially a LAN event like this one, you wouldn't know that anything is wrong. Now, there obviously still is a lot of people upset with the fact that CS2 just completely took over Go, but what do you think? From an esports spectacle, is CS2 already better? Either way, it puts us in a really weird position where watching CS2 and playing CS2 are two completely different products. And what does that mean for the community if the experience of spectating is more enjoyable than actually hopping into a server and playing? Let me know if you agree with that sentiment, and let me know what you thought about this Cologne. Where does it place on your Mount Rushmore of CS events? For me, I think it's up there. Did you see the photos of Apex after winning? And he's just sitting like on top of the bar pouring bottles of beer into like probably like the biggest cup in history, because like even the Stanley Cup, it's like kind of a small bowl at top. The trophy is like